Yay. Okay. We're recording. What you see is I've interviewed these. I interviewed Preston last night, who was a network administrator. Um, that's one of the things we're talking here. I'm going to bring up my programs. I'm going to just show you what we have at Clovis Community. Should have sent that out to you earlier.
I did take a look at the Clovis Community website to kind of see how the degree program was laid out for information technology, and specifically I looked through the certificate program you guys were offering for cybersecurity as well.
Okay, let's I guess I got to stay on my list, my plans here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through is we're going to bring up I'm going to talk about skills first. And just for the sake of saying I've done it, in the chat, I'm going to send you a link to this document to make sure we're always looking at the same one.
Okay.
I just want to, that's part of the stuff at the advisory that I'm supposed to do. Let's start with, I got to ask the questions in the same manner because I'm kind of excited. I got a security person here. Essential skills and knowledges. Okay, here you are. You've been in it for a while, right?
I've only been in the actual field of information technology for a little over 5, close to 6 years. So I have a little bit of time in, but comparatively to some other people, I'm still a little green.
Now, what did you do before that then?
Before that, there were a lot of situations that led to jobs that I thought could have been a career that ended up not, just one thing after another, not really adding up for me. And then I made the decision to enroll in online college. I made the mistake of going to a for-profit university thinking, well, I bought into the marketing. I'll just be totally honest. I bought into the marketing from the University Advancing Technology. I thought they had a great program because they told me they did. And I made a lot of assumptions in my mind about that. So I went to college and then I got into IT. But before that, retail jobs. I worked for a local county probation department with the boot camp program that they had because I had had some military experience. I enrolled in the United States Marine Corps fresh out of high school. So I'd had, small smatterings of expertise in different areas before finally deciding computers aren't going anywhere and the jobs are always there. I need to figure out what I'm doing and go grab one.
That's awesome. So in your experience at your for-profit school, was there any classes that benefited you the most to gain access into the IT industry? Or if so, did it help you move up into your present situation? What type of classes do you think they helped you or did not help you at your for-profit you registered for?
So none of my technical classes were nearly as helpful as I was assuming they were. Okay. Because a lot of the technical classes were teaching information that was either valid at that point in time and it quickly grew mold, or it was already out of date because the individual professors had to onboard some of their own training material. That was part of the draw, is we get real people and they come in and they make some of the lessons out of their experience. So it was a mixed bag with what I got. Some of the most valuable lessons and courses that I took had nothing to do with technology and gave me some additional insights into areas that I have needed to have some additional insight in that don't necessarily occur to most people. Mainly in my position with information security has been classes on ethics in technology, technical writing, communication clarity, and some overview in law, understanding law and how it applies, and even some of the general verbiage that is used in legal documents or just legal speak has benefited me a considerable amount, because you go in and you read terms and conditions, and you have to understand how the law applies to certain organizations when it comes to handling certain types of data. And if you're completely blind to that, depending on the organization, you may be fortunate enough to have somebody who will break some of that down to you. Otherwise, people are just going to hope that somebody knows, or they're going to wait to be informed of those things. So being able to speak clearly, put my thoughts into words that are able to either be spoken to a C-level member or to
Yes.
one of my users, where I have to translate the technical jargon and those sorts of ideas into, hey, this is what people who have no idea what I'm saying about are going to hear and understand. And those types of things have been far more valuable to me than any of the other parts, because a lot of people can come to you and say, hey, I've got Security Plus. There aren't a whole lot of people that can come to you and say, hey, I've got Security Plus, but I can also speak to your users and inform them on technical topics. And I can also interpret some of these terms of use and conditions for enrollment and anything else where there is some legal speak where people may not understand, where there is some threat to information security or to the department because they don't have that bit of skill.
You're not a firewall. You're a firewall to help your clients gain knowledge on how to not stumble into some of the security issues. Because sometimes they think, hey, I'm a cybersecurity expert, so you're going to fend off all the problems. So me at my desk will not have to worry about it. But that's not the case. Is that's what I'm hearing? You need to be able to articulate them to them and say, hey, here's the problems. Here's what you need
Yes,
to watch out for.
yes.
That's awesome.
You're never going to escape having to relay technical ideas and make those sorts of concepts graspable by people who are not involved in our field, who do not have the technical mindset we do, because their strengths lie elsewhere. And it's our job to bridge that gap. We can know all the technical information we want to, but if I can't tell it to my management or to my users or to my leadership or to other people who want to ask somebody who knows about technology, hey, how do I do this? If I just throw a bunch of technical jargon at them and they don't get it, not only have I not helped them, I have harmed myself and their image of technology. They now feel more overwhelmed by the technology than they did when they came to speak to me, because I just added to all of that static in their mind when they're trying to sort it out.
That's awesome to hear because I have been looking at, we have an IS-66 and it deals with, on the list is office and customer skills for a technician. Basically, it's customer service. How to relate to that teacher that is like, let's say you work at Clovis Unified that's saying, my computer doesn't work. It just does this, and it doesn't make any sense, and how to work them down. And it sounds like at your level, you're even doing some more smaller to larger training of people, and maybe in some higher level meetings where you need to articulate in a short amount of time what needs to happen and what the problem could be and how they can help you type of situations. And I think IS-66, which right now it says a 3 unit, but it's actually a 2 unit. I would like to add a 1 unit component onto it and change it to 3 units because of more customer skills. Um, One of the things here's one of the problems we have. We have a work experience class where they have to go out and they have to find some work experience. It can volunteer, they can do anything, but they don't know how to do it. They just kind of look at you. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm putting a 1 unit in. I want to add it to make it 3 units. And one of the part of the 1 unit curriculum would be is how to search for a job, how to go out there, what's out there, how to network, how to communicate. Then would come the rest of the class because we're finding that some of our students, and not all of them, but they're very intelligent, but they've been working in a room with a computer and keyboard and a mouse, but not communicating much to others in a mannerism that might be appropriate from a business environment. Is that kind of what we're saying?
Yeah.
Good.
And to your point with the networking, learning how to network with people, that's a core career survival skill for anybody in
Yeah.
IT, because you can get on Reddit at any point and you can scroll through the feed and see how many people in the IT field especially are incredibly frustrated that they are being stonewalled from jobs that their experience and skill set lines up with perfectly, but the HR firewall completely disregards them, and having that ability to confidently approach somebody and network with them to prove your value and get around that has been incredibly valuable for several people I know, and even how I got my job. It was unintentional, but I got my job purely through networking with the security team and not actually through any other official way. I was told to apply to my job
Yeah.
because I had networked with them without that goal. And it's such a valuable skill to have that not having it is detrimental to a lot of people in the
Uh,
information
And I
technology
like
field.
the way you started our whole conversation off about your background. And if you, I always tell my kids every once in a while, I have 5 children, but I also tell my students every once in a while, instead of keep looking forward, you need to stop and see where you came from. Because I'm my whole career, your whole career, we bing bonged around until we got where we wanted to go. I bet you when you were in the military, you didn't say, I want to be a cybersecurity or a computer security person at a major institution. Did you say that?
No.
See, we laugh about it, but that's kind of by our passions, we kind of grew into it. And that's what's kind of missing. And I'm trying to um, help them discover that because
Hmm.
they can't just sit and watch. Now, one question: do you have any industry certifications?
I do not.
Okay. Which would you say is a good? We always say Network Plus, especially in our cybersecurity. We always say Network Plus. We say Security Plus, and we do an A plus just for those certificates. If somebody knocked on your door, and let's say I know you work in a government institution, so it doesn't always work this way. But if you had the ability to hire, and they had those 3 certificates, and they could network and they could communicate effectively, would that help them?
Um, So I am going to preface my answer by saying I have never been on that side of the
Okay.
conversation where I have had to evaluate somebody's skills and compare it to the opening that I have and the needs of my team. That being said, if I were in a position just with the knowledge that I have right now, and somebody came up to me and they said, "Hey, I just graduated from Clovis Community. I got my certificate in their cybersecurity program. I have my A plus, Net plus, Sec plus certifications," and they could speak to me with confidence. And when I say they speak to me with confidence, when I ask them a question, they are confident enough to say I don't know, which
That's the
is
hard part.
yes, getting people to admit they don't know something has been huge. And the few times I've had somebody that would be willing to admit that to me has really stuck in my mind. But with those qualifications in mind, um, that would definitely tell me at the very least this person has more than just a passing interest in
Yep.
information technology. They're
Good.
not just, I had heard that it's easy or I heard that there's good money here. Having those three lets me know at least an organizational or conceptual level, you understand the processes, you understand the terminology, you understand the world that you're stepping into. I couldn't look at somebody with a Sec Plus certification and say, take this computer and go give me a forensically sound image from it, and
Yeah.
then process the whole chain of custody that goes with it. But they would understand that there is a chain of custody. They would understand the importance of it. So they would already be a step ahead of somebody who had never even heard of those things.
Good.
And that would make a big difference when it came to training somebody, because that's the downside is somebody's going to come to me and say they have this college education and they have these certifications, but they have no actual experience. So there's going to be a lot of hands-on training. There's going to be a lot of hand holding through things. So the less that I have to do with hand holding, as far as I don't have to explain what a chain of custody is. I don't have to explain what the CIA triad is and why it's important and how it affects things. If they have that kind of foundational knowledge already, it makes it a lot easier because they already kind of have some of that thinking in line.
Okay. We offer, most of our cybersecurity people are first, they come through the network series of 2 classes. They're going to know how to subnet like that, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Then they come into 3 cybersecurity classes, one in just information security, kind of sounds like what you're doing. One is ethical hacking, and the other one is some basic forensics fundamentals. Is there any emerging other technology or tools that you think we should cover within our series of courses?
If you have the room for it, I have heard that um, GRC specialists are becoming highly demanded, and it's less technical and it is more policy and tracking, but the value to organizations by having somebody that understands how to incorporate frameworks and use large GRC tools to guide an
GRC
organization.
stands for what?
Governance, risk, and compliance.
Okay.
It is
Government
it is a
risk and compliance is a software or is just kind of a tool or a procedure that they have to follow?
uh
An auditor?
mostly it's mainly an internal auditor. Yes, like
Okay.
it's a tool that helps you track your adherence to frameworks and assigning assigning tasks to people to accomplish certain things to get you closer. Say you want to go to ISO 27001. Okay, you're going to put that in your GRC platform, and then you're going to start taking an account of all of the controls you have that match, all the ones that don't. This is now the plan to get the ones that don't match. We need to track every single one of these. Give me a deliverable, give me your time frame, give me the evidence that you actually validated this control and that it's working as intended. You put that all into the platform, and then you can output that to other agencies that are looking to, well, not other agencies, other certifying organizations that are going to say, yes, they are SOC 2 Type 2 certified. They are HIPAA compliant. It is a way for those big cornerstone kind of organizational attestations to be accomplished.
Okay. Now, would a person like that be like somebody at your level taking and learning that application that is a software basically, right?
Yes.
Or would it be somebody working underneath you that would do that for you and then bring it to your level?
No, that would be somebody in the lens of my organization alone, because the Tulare County is very unique in a lot of ways. Our security team, the way things have been established there. In my organization, a GRC specialist would be equivalent to me,
Okay.
because in government organizations, policy is king. If you
Yeah.
don't have a policy, you don't have a rule to stand on. If you don't have official accepted policy that says this is what you are allowed to do or this is what you must do, anything you don't deny, you permit. Anything
Okay.
you don't specify doesn't exist. Policy is top. So somebody that could come in and say, here's the policy and here's how we're going to achieve success in getting this framework rolled out and making us compliant with that framework, would be somebody, in many cases, I would take orders from, because they're telling me how to accomplish our compliance with industry frameworks. They're not asking me to do something. They're saying, hey, if this is what you want, you need to do these things. These are the tasks that need to be assigned out. So
Awesome.
that wouldn't be, your standard uh, security operations center analyst going through. That would be
Okay.
somebody who would speak more at a less technical and more high level organization. And it's almost like a security specific program manager who would really understand frameworks and how to use the GRC software to help organizations meet frameworks, compliance goals, evaluating third-party vendor risk. There's a whole portion of that of just evaluating risk and having it quantified in the program so you can see Who are your risky vendors? Who are not your risky vendors? What are the common things that you do to try and offset that? Do you have documentation you send out to vendors? Where do you track that? Where do you have that profile at? A lot of that is contained in GRC.
That's very helpful. I appreciate that. I'll have to see how we can maybe get that in. Do you guys use cloud computing much in the Tulare, your Tulare County office? What's the official title where you're at?
I work in the government plaza
Okay,
in Visalia.
Visalia. Okay. Do you guys utilize any cloud, or is that outside of your realm of working with cloud servers or stuff like that?
The county is slowly moving towards cloud
Okay,
adoption. We have been an on-prem shop for pretty much the entire time the actual Tulare County IT department has existed, and they are just now beginning to embrace cloud computing.
okay. The next question. We are also looking at incorporating an AI Essentials course into our IS program, and then our computer science would do an advanced AI, which they wouldn't have to take, but we're going to kind of pair together if somebody really wants to look to learn generative AI, how we do things, how it automates stuff from a core base, and then they can do the high end stuff. Do you guys, at your workplace, do you guys use Copilot, Gemini, any of that generative AI to help you process and do your every day to day work?
In the security department, no, because with being a county government, we are in a separate tenant than standard privately funded businesses
Got,
called the Government Community Cloud.
gotcha.
And there are additional information restrictions for GCC tenants. So
Okay.
when it comes to using Copilot, you have to, in my position especially, you have to have Copilot for security, because that is a different work stream for Copilot where the information exchange is more tightly controlled. The data centers are very specifically located, or in some cases, the information is not exported from your environment, depending on the level of GCC you are. There's regular GCC, there's GCC high, and then there's GCC Department of Defense. And as you go up, they get incredibly restrictive in how they're allowing information to be processed or even leave the environment beyond predetermined and accepted data centers. So we do not use Copilot in the security team because of the cost of security Copilot and the restrictions on GCC. There
Gotcha.
has been some interest in it, and it will be an inevitable interest because everybody else in the county, other departments, are wanting to use generative AI. You're getting AI in your toothbrush. There's no avoiding
Yeah,
AI.
you're right.
So
So
yeah,
it would be good. It would be good for students to have some knowledge so they don't walk in and just look dumbfounded, like, I don't know, I have never done it. So for them to have some
yes, core
experience.
that at this point, with how widely adopted AI has been in such a short frame of time, and especially in the security field, with how quickly adversaries are starting to leverage generative AI to improve their coding, to improve their ransomware as a service platforms, even to just make better and more believable social engineering scripts and phishing emails. AI is going to be another one of those technologies that is now going to always be a consideration. It is going to be another threat vector continuously,
Okay.
because we're now working at the speed of a machine to try and trick people. So
Awesome.
understanding the threats that brings, and also just understanding how to use AI. It was a learning curve for me to just learn how to properly query generative AI to get an
Exactly.
answer I was looking for, rather than just beating my head against it, because like any other type of machine interface language, there's a context to it. There's a syntax. You have to know how to phrase certain things. You have to
Yes.
know how to
If not, it'll hallucinate on you and just give you jargon, and you might not understand that it's all wrong.
exactly. And then from the security side, you have to understand what are the types of ways people are using loopholes in generative AI to try and get things to work. There was a recently I went to Microsoft Ignite, and there was an entire session on AI and pointing out the different ways that people are using AI to get loopholes through. Like you're not allowed to ask AI, hey, how much salt does it take to dissolve a human body? But you can structure your queries in such a way that you lead the AI to give you that answer, and not knowing that that is an attack vector that can lead AI to leak data, you aren't
Yes.
going to be as careful on what you're going to allow that AI to see. You're not going to be as careful about what you're going to let that AI access, because you're thinking, well, there's no way it's going to tell somebody how much salt can dissolve a body. So I don't have to worry about keeping Claude or whoever else from accessing that information or saying that. And then you're going to completely miss the, which is 99 times out of 100, less obvious way that adversaries will approach a problem. They're not going to do it straight up front. They're going to do it very sneaky. And you have to, from a security side, you have to have some understanding of AI. Otherwise, you're just going to be a victim of it.
That's awesome that you helped me on that. I think that's what we're kind of looking at. We did already cover, the next question was, we already covered some trends that are out there, but in order to save your time and get all these questions through, do you have any like a bullet point of what you think future trends, maybe a program, maybe a technology besides, we talked about networking already, we talked about that. Is there anything that could help students with an emerging trend or challenge or opportunities for them?
I saw this question, and this was the one that I knew I was going to struggle with most,
It's okay.
because 5 years ago, I wouldn't have guessed
I know.
that large language models and AI were going to be something. My guess was going to be machine learning and quantum computing were going to be the hand in hand
Yeah.
next big jumps, where the machine learning was going to, they were going to get all the pathways down and the neural network, and then the quantum computing was going to make the communications much more secure and much quicker. Like I really assumed that was going to be. So trying to call out for the next 3 to 5 years what kind of
It's almost
opportunity.
impossible. I know that's a question. Next time I have this, I have to reword it because whoever thought some things would be obsolete. I mean, I teach a history of technology, basically technology and history. And as I look over some of the materials that I teach with, I always have to change at technology and society. We never thought things would go away. And, we're in for what everybody's saying, and I haven't bought it yet. We're in for another technology disruption. One disruption is when we went from to the computer itself, and then we went to laptops, and now laptops. Then the phone was a big disruptor, and everybody started to not use certain things. DVDs went away, all this stuff on it, and they're saying the next disruptor is like on the cusp right now. So I guess that's too hard to plan because they keep saying, like the old Google glasses or the new ones that are coming out, they're going to be a disruption, and that's where people are going to trend to. They're going to have to prove it to me because some of that
You
stuff I'm
know,
not buying yet.
I do have one idea for a challenge slash opportunity that I have not seen in a lot of curriculum that I feel might be beneficial to somebody, especially if they're interested in cybersecurity. And I'm not sure how you would teach this, but I have noticed that at a certain point, the the technological requirement to overcome logical controls and software and outsourced 24 by 7 SOC departments that are watching these businesses gets to a point where people aren't trying to hack the old way anymore. It's getting much more human focused, which is why phishing, aside from just the numbers game of it takes very little cost, very little effort, and you can very easily maximize the amount you're doing to where you guarantee success just based on purely numbers alone. the meatware in any organization is always going to be the most vulnerable. So having some understanding of how to educate your users, how to not just communicate with them, but then also teach them how to behave in a more secure manner is, I feel, incredibly valuable. It was one of the first tasks that I was given in Tulare County. And I have been steadily building up our security awareness and simulated phish testing program. And I have noticed the impact in both how many emails are being reported as phishing, not just, false positives because people aren't quite grasping the lessons, but there's been plenty of people where I have now seen their skills improve in identifying phishing emails. I have seen them become better at identifying threats that they would have been previously caught by. And I don't see a lot of emphasis on that human-centric cybersecurity where you're teaching your users some really simple things or trying to show them the value of, hey, I get that this cybersecurity training sucks. Like, you don't want to take it. Nobody ever wants to sit down for the next 2 hours and listen to any cybersecurity training tell them, think before you click 700 times in a row. But that's the only way that you're really going to be able to make big changes in the security posture of your organization. Because if you ignore your users, you're ignoring the biggest attack vector you have. So we can go, we can get computer networking fundamentals down. We can get ethical hacking and forensics, and those are all incredibly good, valuable skills. But by not having any kind of lesson on how to teach users, I feel like we miss an opportunity to shore up our defenses in the same way you would by having a good red team.
That's pretty good. I like that. And we're seeing that a lot more at our colleges for faculty, but we're not doing it with, we're doing it a little bit with the students, but we'll get to that maybe here towards the end. Okay, partnerships. Um, Not that we, you're in Visalia, but I know our students will travel and stuff like that. But in general, what's the best way for, let's say, my institution to do local partnerships? Would you think with other organizations? How do, what's opportunity? What would, I guess what I'm saying is, what would lead you to say, gosh, I want to make a partnership with this individual or this college? And do you see a lot of them out there in the Tulare County area? Mentorship.
I do not see a lot of mentorships out there. And that's actually something that I have an interest in. I am not high up enough in Tulare County to make any of those decisions. What would prompt me to want somebody to volunteer their time and try to, let's just say that Tulare County now suddenly has an intern program or a mentorship program where we're willing to take on some people and let them get a little bit of hands-on experience as part of their schooling or after their schooling, however it's going to work in. The ones that I would most want to bring in aren't necessarily the students that have the best grades. It's the students that, if a teacher came up to me and said, hey, this student always wants to know. If I give homework and there's the additional homework at the end, they're doing the additional homework. It's not that they're doing the extra work that gets to me, but if you have a mindset of wanting to be curious, of wanting to know, of not just saying, oh, okay, I did this, I should be good. Well, what does it look like? How do I do that? If I hear, hey, you can do this, my next question in my head, whether they ask that person or not, is always going to be, well, how? If there's students that are very much in the, how do I do that? I want to have hands-on, or maybe they struggle a little bit with the actual classroom factor, but anytime there's a practical or a physical, they are on it. Those are the people that I would want to work with, because those are going to be the students that I feel are going to absorb the most information. They're going to be the most enthusiastic. And those are going to be the students that I feel I could make the most positive impact with, so that they're more enthusiastic and incentivized to continue working in the IT field, whereas some people may end up being just overwhelmed or discouraged by some of the other difficulties that come from it.
Now, if I said, let's just say a case scenario, I have a cybersecurity teacher and he says he needs a real world problem. He's struggling to find some real world examples. If I sent you an email, would you be willing to say, hey, here's some situations, have students work on this, this, and this. This is real world. Would you be willing to help us if we asked for like some ideas?
Sure.
Even like we do a video like we're doing now, if we did like a 15-minute video lecture, if they said, hey, let's add some people in, even if it was a 15-minute lecture that I took care, recorded everything, did what I needed to, or even if we did a field trip, I don't know how much stuff is down there you could show us, but you're kind of willing to do that?
The field trip in-person things, I would need to speak with the
Yes.
director over my security program. But as far
Yes.
as doing little lectures or helping provide some real-world context with anonymized data, or just changing some of the names and things up, that it saves whatever information needs to be saved, but the core concepts and workflows are there, I would totally be willing to do that.
Some ideas for our teachers. Hey, try this. I don't know of the 3 courses in cybersecurity. I don't know what area you'd really want to jump into, but always keep looking at it. And if you say, hey, here's a good example, I'm going to change the data so I'm not giving any information away, have them try to solve this, or have them try to work with this, or do this. So that would be great. I can send a lot of this stuff to my cohorts within this area. Um, I'm working down here because I don't want to take all your time, and I do have another one at 7.
Yeah.
Uh, Employee traits, we did kind of talk about that. We talk about the desire to initiate, not sit and wait, be proactive, not reactive. Would you say ask questions, but don't go beyond your boundaries of where you should be. We talked about, I think, did we talk about hiring workforce development is basically institutions better prepare? We're talking about that. Um, do you think we've handled those feedback questions pretty well, except for the last one I'm going to ask you? Um, Anything you would like to add? You can talk about, I think we did employee traits. I think we did hiring workforce development so we can get better employees. Anything you would like to add on everything here, since this is your time in the advisory committee?
The only other thing that comes to mind that we have not touched on just yet, and this is more of a personal thing that I have found has been one of the biggest tools that I have discovered that has helped me in any area of IT, has been note taking.
Oh, like
Note taking,
documentation, note taking,
yes,
documentations.
documentation of all kinds, taking my own personal notes, being able to summarize things in emails, produce some basic documentation or diagrams in documentation for visual aids, has been unbelievably valuable to me, because we have long since passed the ability for there to be 1 or 2 people in an organization where they just know so much in IT that they know almost everything. We have the amount of information and complexity and things to know has long eclipsed the human brain's ability to retain anything, aside from those few people who are lucky or unlucky enough, depending on how you see it, to have an eidetic memory. And
Yes.
at the end of the day, I had this notion in my head that was, now that I look back, unbelievably stupid. And it was, people are going to take me more seriously and they're going to value me more as an IT professional if I can just retain all this in my head. If I just remember it and I know it and I have it down, and it put an unbelievable pressure on me. And at the end of the day, nobody cares how I got the information for you. If I have it in notes that I took down when I learned it and when I dealt with the situation 6 months ago, or if I just memorized it, The only thing they care about at the end of the day is, was the information correct and did it help solve our problem?
True.
So excellent note taking has saved me more times than I can count by having the accurate, like I can, here's my notes, here's everything I did, or hey, what happened with this? Well, I can go back through my own personal knowledge repository and I can find the notes that I took on that. And then I'm no longer stressed out trying to remember and worrying. Did I recount those details right? Did I miss something? Did I miss-say something because it's been 6, 8 months? No, I went directly back to my notes and it kept me calm in meetings. And I could say, these are the definitive things that happened. When I've had troubleshooting with outside vendors, I had one recently where the vendor did not actually know how their product worked. For weeks, we struggled with them, emails back and forth, trying to figure out, I need the communication requirements for this particular piece of software because it's not completing the way it should. We're getting errors. And everything that you've requested for is being allowed. They were not understanding it. Those documentation and note-taking skills helped me list every single thing I had done, create the diagram for them to provide a visual aid on where I needed more understanding. And then 3 days later, we resolved the issue. And that, just the note-taking and documentation skill itself resolved that problem. And now we have a department who very much critically depended on that application because it was a cornerstone of their business, upgrading to the brand new version. And they're like, oh, great. And I got to be the person that told this multi-billion-dollar company how their program worked. And they updated their documentation, not because I had some ridiculous steel trap memory. I stopped fighting against it and I just took notes. And I could reference my notes and my documentation. And it's just as good as pulling up the documentation from Cisco. If you're looking at a firewall, you have something authoritative and clear that you can reference and then understand.
Boy, you have been such a wealth of information for me. Um, and I totally, here's one thing I got to say. How I talk, I mean, we used to have advisory committees where we all come together. We maybe feed you some dinner. We sit down, we talk, but maybe there's 8, 10 of you in a room. Justin, you might have had 2 minutes to talk in that room, but right now I've just had almost 45 minutes with you. And that's what's happening with every one of them. And that's what, since I started this, I got to tell you how much I appreciate your transparency. Some of these we might even show, I'm hoping to show students to
Mhm.
talk that want to go into areas. And you know, you've been so easy to get a hold of and work with. I got to tip my hat to you and tell you how you've changed my idea of what an advisory is, from feeding your friends a couple hamburgers and saying it's a deal, let's wrap it, let's put it in, to all of a sudden when I go to curriculum and say, hey, I'm adding this in to these 3 classes because industry said so. It's not my buddy who I know from down the street. What it is it's Justin who does this stuff. It is Preston who is a network professional in the industry. Um, I thank you because I've learned a lot from this. I've been teaching for quite some time, and this has been a mindset change for me. And I hope that I will. It's been a little bit of time. I could have done this all together on Zoom, but I don't think everybody would have got their 2 cents out.
I actually wanted to extend my thanks to you as well. I would have, not to toot my own horn or anything, not to say, oh, I gave such great words to Brent that it's going to make a world of difference, but I think back to when I was in college and how little it seemed that my professors were trying to anticipate needs and really kind of focus on not just getting their job done, but making sure that the value of what I was being taught and how it was going to apply to the workforce would have been immense for me. So the fact that you were reaching out to try and do that for students, I wanted to do this because, one, I would have loved for even a fraction of what you were doing, because it would have been better for me to hear it than the scripted nonsense that my professors gave me before, and some of them wouldn't even communicate with me. And in a selfish way, it makes me feel better to know in some way I'm doing some good. I'm helping out. That's why I'm in local government, because I enjoy helping. I enjoy the fact that the labors of my effort are ultimately, or the fruits of my labor are ultimately going to be enjoyed by the citizens of the county and the people that I work with, and not some mega rich butthead on a yacht. So
Not
when
some textbook, not some textbook company that's writing books on what you should be doing. I'm on the front lines, I think, trying to get people on the front lines.
and that is incredibly valuable to me, because there's not enough people that try and do that for their students, and it made me want to work with you, and it makes me feel better to provide whatever little bits of information that may be useful to them. I will gladly share that, and it makes me feel better to do it. So honestly, genuinely, thank you for asking me, for giving me the opportunity to try and improve things for other people and make some positive benefit towards their education and career, because that means more to me than a lot of things could.
Thank you. You'll be getting some emails from me. I'm not going to ask you to do anything. I'm just going to every once in a while reach out to you, but I appreciate you. And I'm going to let you go have the rest of your evening.
All right, Brent, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thanks
Thank you,
for
Justin.
having the meeting, and you enjoy your night.
Alrighty. Thank you.